What's up everyone, welcome to a new video here on the channel. Today we are doing another track guide around Sebring International Raceway for the first week of the regular iRacing IMSA series. This time we're going to be in the LMP2, a bit different. Usually I do it all in the GTPs, but as I'm now building the setups again for the LMP2, I thought it was fitting for the first week to just go through the track in the LMP2 and yeah, let's get into it. So here we are then at the start-finish straight. We're gonna head into turn 1 here. Just gonna play the replay. Really tricky corner here into turn 1. There's not really any braking references or anything to look at coming into this corner. It's very blind. But if we take a look from the cockpit here, you have this small bend in the wall. Now I try to not place my eyes looking at that one. I look more to the apex, but in the corner of my eye, I have this bend here, which I press the brake on, as you can see. And this corner, it's very important to try and not have that much peak pressure. Try to have a bit less peak pressure. So let's say like I'm hitting 20% peak here, and then try to hold it for long and just smash the throttle. This is a corner with a lot of downforce, a lot of compression on the right side of the car, so you can really just smash the throttle, especially on the P1 dog, handling those bumps. Amazing. So yeah, that's turn 1. Tricky with the blind corner, but you have to just try and use that bend in the wall, make the best out of it, and then focus on getting on early on the throttle. So we're immediately coming into turn 2 here. Another really tricky corner. You have this slight bend right before it, but at least you have a very good braking reference here. Just this white line or these 3 cones where you get on the brakes around 60% peak pressure, I would say, a bit more maybe. And then trying to keep it a bit tight here on the entry, because there's just more grip there for whatever reason. Just licking that yellow line all the way around, immediately up on this curb right here, only with your right tires. One thing to note here is that if you take this curb too much, especially in the LMP2, with the diffuser, basically, you're gonna bottom a lot and you might lose the rear and then even spin. So try to come up here with your right tires, touch the grass maximum, and then come off. We have another great reference now for turn 5, I think. This curb right here. As soon as you arrive at the end of this curb, if you like using references, you turn left immediately. So you come in to this corner. Also important here to try and keep it a little bit more tight than what you think, because there's a lot less grip trying to round it out here and then taking a late apex, focusing on getting speed out of the corner. So it's a bit better to just try and follow the rubber line here. As you can see, there's a bit more blackness here in the track surface. So try and follow that, use that reference, follow along in, super early throttle. And the tricky part about this corner as well is you really cannot touch these curbs. You lose a lot of time, but you on the same time, the closer you get to it, the more grip you'll have, and it really shoots you around the corner. So yeah, those are tricky corners, but that's Sebring. Avoid the curb on the exit there. You're gonna lose time going over it as they're 3D curves, and you engage his TC a lot. Coming into the hairpin now, you want to look for those 4 cones here, or if you would rather like to use the white line, that's where you're gonna hit the brake. Once again, very heavy on the brakes, around 80-75%. Hardest braking zone on the track for sure. Also, there's not a lot of bumps here, so you have a bit of a free space for using, or an easier time using the brake basically. Very important though that you hold the brake all the way in here, because if you, for example, now would release the brake, it's very easy to do in this corner because you want to get a lot early on the throttle. Obviously you want the great exit. You might get a lot of understeer from doing that, so really focus in this corner, or for me in particular, it was very important, just hold the brake all the way in. And another thing to note about this corner is you want to come into this corner with sort of a late angle. Like, don't come in here tied around like you can usually in a corner like this, because it's so slow anyway that you can just lick the inside all along. Here there's just more grip out to the left, also less bumps. If you go in here and this curb, you just really bumpy. Try and avoid it. Take a late apex early on the throttle, Avoid the sand on the exit as much as you can. Now this is fine because only like half my tire is touching it. But you will get slowed down a lot if you go out fully over it. Might work in GT cars, but not in the LMP2. So now we're heading into another tricky corner. Once again, now there's not really any specific braking point you can use. It's just in the middle or between the 3 cones and those 4 cones. Yes, right in the middle. Hit the brake hard, 80% again, or 75 around. Down into first gear. And throttle control is everything here. It's a very bumpy corner. And it's very, very easy to lose traction here. So be careful with the throttle. Try to apply it smoothly. Follow along with what the rear end is doing. And then boom, up on that curb slightly. Flat out. Into this right-hander here. Now this is often the corner that for me personally is make it or break it on a quali lap. Because this is a really difficult one. It's very easy to go a little bit too quick in. And you get shot out. Or washed out, and you lose a lot of time because of that. Or you go too tight and hit this curb. You want to avoid both those two. It's better to brake on those 3 cones. Very carefully apply the brake here, because this corner is all about control. You don't want to overheat the fronts. Don't want to smash the brake. Be careful on the brake. Have control over your front end. Really make sure to slow it down, so you really can hit the apex. This is, I mean, a perfect example, but you always want to be on this yellow line or right inside of it, but never on the curb. So on the exit then, this curb is a tricky one. You can use it the way I did it here. It will still lose you a little bit of time, but the thing is, it's updated. It's a 3D curb, so if you use it actively or like aim to use it coming out of here, and using it fully, you're gonna lose a tenth maybe, because it slows the car down a lot, because TC engages and the tires just, yeah, it won't let you accelerate. So try and avoid it as much as you can, but obviously if you get washed out, use it a little bit as track usage, and it will help a bit. Coming in through Le Mans chicanes, we got those 3 cones again, perfect reference for braking. This is a really difficult corner, especially with the new update to Sebring, or it's not new, but the latest version of Sebring, where you can't really use those curbs at all anymore. So try and just hug this first curb, take it easy with the rear end, set the second part of the corner up here, and really come all the way out to the left here, because the exit here is very important. It's very easy, or a lot easier, to try and go straight a bit more here, because there's a lot of less bumps keeping one tire on the road, but you are gonna lose a lot of time on the exit coming out of here. And also, if you go too tight in here, you will have to use more of this curb, which you don't want to, because all prototypes bottom a lot on this curb nowadays. So the important thing about this whole section in general is to try and prepare for the exit out on the long straight. So calm into here, carry speed but still calm, slow it down a lot here. Very careful with the inputs. There's a lot of bumps here, easy to lock up or lose the rear end if you over push. So take it easy. Open this final part of Le Mans chicanes up and get super early on the throttle, which you will be able to if you really open it up like I did right here. And now we're heading into the sunset bend, final corner on the track. Another really difficult one. This might be even more difficult than turn 1. You don't really have a braking reference coming into this corner, and also it's completely blind. What I like to do is just go super wide on the entry, carry a lot of speed, because when you arrive here you have a lot of control of the corner. If you need to slow down more, or if you need to push more, you can just brake a bit, like increase the pressure a bit more or release a bit more, and then get super early on the throttle. That's the important thing. And there's a lot of bumps here that might wash you wide once again. So it's very important to try and not go full throttle until the car has fully settled like it has right here. As you can see around here, you can see how the car is really struggling for traction, because there's a lot of bumps, which makes the rear end go up and down a lot. But you can see at my throttle usage, I'm flat basically here, So I'm waiting for all the bumps to finish. The car settles down, boom, full throttle. And then full track usage on the exit here. And yeah, that's the first week tutorial lap guide with the LMP2 here on Sebring. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.